It's my pleasure to present to you this petition. It's 47 pages of signatures. 2,174 people signed this petition.
Petition came across me about a month ago. I was instantly, it stirred my passion. I thought this is something that deserves a closer look. I sent this petition out to over 50 of my friends. I got a 100% response rate like that.
The petition asks the city to put Union Dry Dock on their open space plan. I think this has been a serious omission for a number of years that hasn't already happened. And also to make it a priority.
The Hoboken waterfront is world class. I have friends that live in New York. When they come here on a day like today, you show them that waterfront and it just blows everyone away. And you all must, I'm sure you realize that. I hope maybe some of you were lucky enough to stroll along it today. It's breathtaking. It's fabulous. It's one of the biggest assets Hoboken has.
Maxwell Park to me is a magical place, and living in the neighborhood is a magical place. But it's not just for people living in the neighborhood. What's fascinating to me is how many people in Hoboken share something that I love, which is I love looking at the water, and I love an area of grass. I would say that 50% to more than 50% come from all over Hoboken rather than just come to the Maxwell Park. And what they share in common is a love of sitting on the grass, having lunch or dinner on the grass, and looking out at the water.
I am a lifelong resident of Hoboken. I live at the South Constitution, spent many years living on Garden Street. My father was a professor at Stevens. I lived on the campus for a long time. In thinking about what I was going to talk about tonight, I thought back to when I was a kid and thinking about what was called River Road in those days, which is now Sinatra Drive, which in those days was cobblestones. I don't know if any of you remember this, but there were just freight trains lining the road. And then, of course, the piers were all working piers. And that was actually one of our playgrounds. In those days, Hoboken didn't have a lot of public parks, and those box cars were awful inviting for kids.
When my husband and I first moved here in the early 2000s, Maxwell House was still the factory. And so I've seen that transition, and what Maxwell Park looks like now is just an incredible thing that the city has put together for the residents, and it's a huge transition that's happened. So when I look at Union Dry Dock, I kind of see that we could have something very similar or better than even what's there now.
Our waterfront is an oasis in our bustling town, and it greatly enhances our quality of life. So please make our jewel shine even brighter by connecting one of the last pieces of the pathway along the river.
I have a master's degree in public policy analysis. I worked in city government for the first half of my career, New York City government, and then I spent the second half as the chief operating officer of a commercial real estate company. So when I look out my window from 2 Constitution and I look at this eyesore just kind of slightly south of Maxwell Park, I'm thinking about it in a number of ways. Not just that it's an impediment to what could be an amazingly beautiful shoreline that Hoboken has, but also as it's an important public policy issue that I think has gone ignored. Now, I know that there are people who are believers in the idea that there should be active commerce along the river's edge, and I agree with that too. And that's certainly worth a public policy discussion. But the problem is that it's not even going to reach that stage unless we put it on the city's agenda, unless it becomes part of the open space plan, unless we can debate this using objective criteria and thinking about where this fits in terms of the city's vision.
There's some people who've had a lot of experience in helping grow this waterfront. I'm not part of the Fund for a Better Waterfront, but I've seen the change that these guys have relentlessly driven, and that Pier A is just, world class. You can't argue with that. We need a little more of that. I think it adds value to everyone. Again, it's inclusive. It's just a winner, and I urge you guys to, validate it by taking these first baby steps, and let's give it a name. And let's begin the exploration process of making it happen. Let's start the business plan and get it done. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you.